Welcome to the weekend. You're looking live at the Rose City on this Friday night, a holiday for so many out there, with folks in the Cascades, on the coast, or just enjoying some time at home or out in nature. 66 degrees right now with a weekend that looks like it's going to be a winner. Three cheers. Chief Meteorologist Matt Sfino joining us. Happy Friday. Happy early 4th, Matt.
Thanks, David. You know, it's a beautiful night out there. Here's our Vancouver sky cam. Temperature 68 degrees. A lot of color in this picture, but you know what? A lot more color. You look up at Timberline, the northern lights are going off tonight. Look at this. You see the mountain. I know it's a little hazy because it's grainy, because it's nighttime, but there's a lot of purple in the sky here. I've seen several other reports around the metro area of the northern lights going off tonight and being visible, so you need to get away from city lights, but it's happening out there. This is a look from our sky cam in the Dalles. You can see a little bit of green color as we look to the north there. Again, it's faint. Looking at it through a video camera isn't as good as looking at it through your eyeballs, but nonetheless, we're getting some green, we're getting some purple, 74 degrees, and the winds have died down out there as well, which is good to see. There is a red flag warning for fire weather conditions for the Gorge for tomorrow because of wind gusts of 30 miles an hour and humidity down to about 10%. All right, what's ahead for the weekend? It's going to be great, sunny and warm all weekend long. Clear and pleasant tomorrow night with temperatures, well, they'll be falling into the 60s after reaching into the low 80s tomorrow, about the same as today, maybe a little bit warmer. But again, we'll be in the 50s and 60s. It's going to be a great night for fireworks and beyond. So we're looking at great conditions. We had 79 today, but it'll be a bit warmer the days ahead, and we'll look for more northern light pictures too, David. Back to you.
Loving the aurora action. Yeah. Thanks for sharing. To an update now on a wildfire that broke out this afternoon near the eastern end of the Gorge. All level 3 go now. Evacuations have been downgraded to level 2. That's yellow on the map, and all level 2s are now down to level 1s. That is the green. This is the Crawford Oaks area. It's burning a few miles northeast of the Dalles on the Washington side of the Columbia. More good news. A 15-mile stretch of State Route 14 has now reopened, with vehicles being escorted through the section closest to the fire. I-84 on the Oregon side, though, still a good alternative. So far, the blaze has burned about 380 acres, but it appears from what we are hearing that crews there have the upper hand. Good news. We'll keep you posted. Well, meanwhile, on the western end of the Gorge, first responders had to call in a Coast Guard chopper after a hiker was seriously injured on a trail near Corbett. KGW's Jake Holter was there.
It takes about 2 hours to get down from the top of Angels Rest Trail, so when first responders determined that the hiker's injury was time sensitive, they called in a helicopter. Video captured by hikers shows an injured hiker being airlifted by the Coast Guard.
Basically saw a helicopter circling around a few times, and it was there for a while.
Authorities say the hiker is a woman who was visiting from New York who severely fractured her ankle.
This wasn't life-threatening as much as possibly limb-threatening injuries.
Corbett Fire Chief Dave Flood says it's been years since the last time they called the Coast Guard for a rescue.
The alternate to that is to take our patient back down from the way we came, which puts them in a Stokes with some, wheels. It's safe, but it's slow.
Safe and slow, sound advice for hikers this weekend. Flood says Angels Rest is the toughest hike in Corbett's jurisdiction.
And be mindful of your ability to hike. If you get halfway up and you don't think you got enough energy, it's best to turn around.
The Rain family doing some of Angels Rest Friday. Having hiked the whole thing many times before, they offer some advice as well.
It's not a strong footing all the time, right? So you have to just be careful about the rocks.
Baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps for sure.
And wear the proper footwear with plenty of water and snacks packed.
I feel like this is an amazing hike, so I don't want people, because of this incident, not to come here. But it's really, really beautiful place to come here.
Jake Holter, KGW News.
And worth noting, whatever you're up to this holiday weekend, whether it's on a trail, in the water, first responders want you to stay safe and to be prepared. One other thing to be aware of, Portland police and others are staffing up and will be on the lookout for impaired drivers.
Alcohol is traditionally a part of the 4th of July celebration for a lot of people. We just ask people to be very mindful that if they're impaired, they shouldn't be driving. They should have a plan to get home. We want to make sure that everyone gets home safely.
So make that plan. Police add they're expecting some protests on the 4th and also aware of potential street takeovers. A reminder, consumer fireworks are entirely banned in Portland and the city of Vancouver, along with some other jurisdictions, though you should not call 911, authorities say, unless it's an urgent and life-threatening situation. Fire investigators warn anyone who starts a fire connected to fireworks could face heavy fines and jail time and potentially have to pay for the cost of a firefight. Meanwhile, doctors say every fourth they see injuries from these fireworks that cause burns, permanent eye damage, or even finger loss. Most of them are preventable, and even sparklers, they warn, can be dangerous.
This is burning at a very hot temperature. As you have seen, people tend to wave them in the air, and there's a high risk of injuries to someone's eyes or their hands, especially if someone is young and inexperienced.
Health officials say the best thing you can do is leave the fireworks to the pros. Good advice. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, a Seattle area zoo will reopen tomorrow after a bomb threat forced thousands of people to evacuate. The Woodland Park Zoo says the threat came in by phone this morning after 11. Seattle police swept the grounds but say they did not find any explosives. About 3,500 guests and 200 summer campers evacuated. In Washington County, deputies arrested a driver this afternoon after they say he drove into a pickup while under the influence. This was in Beaverton at Southwest 156th and Greensboro. The two people in the truck were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Deputies arrested the SUV driver at the scene. And in Marion County, a husky is back with its family tonight after getting stuck near the summit of a mountain peak in the Cascades. The sheriff's office saying the 75-pound dog was injured during what appears to be a hike with its owners and was not able to walk back down. Search and rescue volunteers took it down using a wheeled litter meant for these kind of rescues. The sheriff's office reminding pet owners to plan ahead, to be mindful of trail conditions, and to know your and your pet's physical limits. Developing this evening, people in Washougal are mourning the death of a recent high school graduate. According to friends, 18-year-old Grant Johnson Jr. died in the hospital from a bacterial infection. Evan Watson shares how Johnson's classmates are honoring his life.
Grant Johnson Jr. played football here at Washougal High School, graduating just 2 weeks ago. As a lineman, he created opportunities for his teammates to shine. Now with his sudden passing, those teammates cherish a friend they won't forget. Orange ribbons outside Washougal High School honor the memory of Grant Johnson Jr. A recent graduate, Grant died of a fast-spreading bacterial infection on Monday.
He was hilarious, one of the funniest people I ever knew. Always smiling, always cracking jokes, making people laugh.
He loved music, you know. It didn't matter what I was playing in the car, he was always bobbing his head.
What's up, family? How you doing? He was just greatest dude. He was there for everyone.
Number 74 on the football field, Grant's teammates remember him as hilarious and a supportive protector.
We'd be down in a game, he'd be there picking everybody back up saying, we got this. We just passed like the first big step in our life, and he now can't go on to see what his future plans were. And I knew there was something big for him in the future, and he was going to be a successful man.
DeAndre Goodell met Grant in the 2nd grade, growing up with him, remembering both the great and the not as great.
Try to go to bed, and you hear him in the room just snoring, probably loud as a jet engine, and can't fall asleep till like 6 because he's finally waking back up so you can get some rest.
The Washougal community has raised more than $20,000 through a GoFundMe for Grant's family. Now his teammates.
But I just called in my buddies and we sat around, gave our hugs and kind of cried it out for a little bit, but yeah, it was hard.
During a big life transition from high school to their next steps.
This is my first friend loss, so yeah, it's pretty hard. It's nice to know I got brothers to lean on, and I'm always there to lean on these guys too. So
promised to carry on Grant's legacy, saying he was truly loved.
What Grant lived for, the impacts he had, I'm going to try to bring that every day for the rest of my life.
Evan Watson, KGW News.